Hey everybody, good morning. Welcome to Hobby Hotline. Got a great show for you today. Joining me today, I'm your pal Val. With me is the DH, Drew,
What's going
and
on?
the man, the myth, the legend, King NASCAR Logan. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Glad to be here.
Yeah, it's great. Happy Halloween Eve to everybody.
Yes. Yes. I can't wait. I got to dress up this year. Jude's got me all convinced to dress up. Oh,
Well,
man.
I think Jude is right in that wheelhouse of
Hmm.
maximizing Halloween. So mine's a
He's
little
going to be a
older.
baseball player, too. So, I mean, he's smart. He's going with baseball. So. So
Yeah,
he's going as a member of the Hickory Crawdads because he has the official uniform. So, he's going as a Crawdad.
I'm dressed up as an Xfinity crew member for the Panini team.
There you go. Hey, there
Very
you go.
nice.
I like it. I like it a lot. One of the few licenses that is around. But I hope everybody's having a good day out there today.
Getting the link out here for
Lot
everybody.
going on in the hobby, man.
Oh
There's,
my goodness.
I mean, like every single week, but holy cow, like it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, there's a few things that went on this week. I don't know where we want to start. Um, Probably some of the big news. Well, actually, a bunch of them are big. The NHL
Yes,
staying with Upper Deck.
huge, man. If anybody didn't hear, the NHL and NHL Players Association, both of them, Val, which is important. Both NHL and the Players Association both decided to stay with Upper Deck and not go with Fanatics, and that's a pretty interesting strategy because now it looks like, I mean, we assumed that they'd be buying out some type of company. At least I assumed. I still don't think it'll be under the Fanatics name, like Fanatics Chrome or something. I don't think that's how it's going to be. But you assume that they're going to buy out some company. You thought they'd have some competition, but when Fanatics can come in and out of nowhere take the NBA, Major League Baseball, and NFL like nothing, and then come in and then basically get just denied instantly. And I mean, they re-signed for a decent period, showing the faith they have in Upper Deck. But I mean, Upper Deck going to be a serious competitor, and looks like the hockey market's not going to change that much, and it's responded by starting to go up.
Yeah, I think there's two things in play. I know it kind of looks bad, I guess, that Fanatics couldn't get it, or great that Upper Deck and NHL and the Player Association staying together, but this is still years out for Fanatics, and I think they have a lot of work to do with baseball, football, and basketball, and to try to tack another one on. Um, you know, I,
Well, they were
I
trying. They tried, and they tried hard. And don't think that NHL. Don't think they didn't want all four sports. Fanatics that's the type of company. I know the people that are in ownership there, and I mean, look at their history. They go after everything. That's what they did with apparel. That's what they've done with everything they've ever gone into. They've tried to monopolize it as much they can, and that is, they wanted that NHL license massive, but the fact that we're gonna have that Upper Deck name in the hobby is huge. I think in terms of making collectors not feel as though it's just completely changed in the hobby. It'll never be the same because you still got multiple card companies and everything. I'm talking about main sports, 1977. I mean, yes, I mean soccer up there, obviously. I'm just talking about the big four in the U.S., so to speak. But I mean, obviously, soccer is a huge sport, yes. But I mean, we're talking about the four big licenses right now. I know, but
well, I mean, Upper Deck's been making cards
yes, they've
NHL
been with
since
hockey
'90, right?
forever. They've been,
Yeah. So when you think of NHL, you think of Upper Deck, right? Just like when
yeah,
you think of baseball cards, you think of Tops.
exactly. And
So I
it's
remember
nice
getting
that,
those 1990 Upper Deck boxes, those black boxes, and going after those Yager and
yeah.
high numbers and the French version, and yeah. So it's the NHL and Upper Deck are instilled in the card collecting wise together. So
well, I mean, and also they're bringing back, they brought back the original designer of metal. They've got the original Big Three team back up at Upper Deck. They're doing a lot of things to really increase the hockey brand. The hockey sales are up like never before. As someone that sells a lot of hockey, I can tell you that personally. And I mean, it's just something very, very important, I think, to see a company stick with them, and not do what Topps did, not leave, and have that Upper Deck name, keep the Upper Deck name out there, which it wasn't going to disappear. I don't think, Logan. I don't think any of you guys would say it's just going to disappear. No. But it's nice to have them in the card market, and have regular cards and not have everything completely be interrupted.
And I think Upper Deck, right? You might know better than me how they handle their distribution and their supply chains. So Fanatics has, this massive supply chain. So that's the only thing I can think of as a negative. Will Upper Deck have to go to Fanatics and try to get into their distribution chain or whatever? But that's probably, thinking way ahead.
Or can they keep the same? I mean, they can do direct to consumer and then do MJ Holdings and stuff and keep it in Walmart. Maybe there'll still be stuff in Walmarts and everything. I mean, a lot of different things could happen. That the same broken distribution method we have now could still technically exist in some way, shape, or form in 5 years still.
Yeah, I think Upper Deck is going to. Their distribution and everything they're going to up their game because they're going to have some serious competition in the card market. And I think they're going to, follow, I don't know if they're going to follow Fanatics' lead, but I think Fanatics being in there is going to make them, a lot better.
No, absolutely. I think it's going to be great. I just love the fact that one league decided to say no, a league that has a relationship with Fanatics. Let's not act like the NHL doesn't have a working relationship with Fanatics. They do. So it was surprising to me, but it was awesome. Good job, Chris Carlin and crew. I think it's wonderful for the hobby. I think it's wonderful for obviously for the current state of everything, but for the future as well. But yeah, that's some of the major news, I guess, this week on licensing. Licensing was kind of the word of the week this week. The licenses were everywhere. And guys, please call in and if there's anything that you guys would like to talk about, any questions, comments, or anything, please click the link. Val put it in the comments, and it's in there earlier. Please click on the link and call in and join the show. We'd love to have you join in.
And thanks. And also, if you don't want to call in the comments, and good morning, everybody, to Bobby, 1977 Cloth,
yes,
DR. I saw Theodore. His name in here and DR. So
there you go.
Yeah. Good morning, everybody.
Yes.
So guys, what about Panini and WWE? What do you think about that?
I put a Topps box here that we were going to do on Let It Rip here just for symbolizing, I guess, eulogizing them.
Just some junk about football.
We got somebody live from the Dallas show.
Rich.
Hey guys.
Hey,
good morning,
Brad. What's up, fellas?
Good morning. How are y'all?
Doing good.
Good morning, Val. Good morning, Logan. I don't remember who the third.
Drew.
Who's the third person?
Drew.
Hey, Drew.
What's up, bud?
Howdy, y'all. Dallas Card Show.
We have the Technical Wizard here. We also have Beans Baseball Blog with us, buying cards.
Nice. What's up, bud?
Ken. That's all. How is the show?
The show's pretty good. We remember I am in the side room, so I'm not on the main floor. Thursday night was a little slower than usual. We had a little problem in Dallas called wind, and only 2 of the 5 runways at DFW Airport were working. So
yeah,
so
no,
people. So a lot of people didn't make it in from out of town.
Yeah, my partner that I work with actually is at the show now, but he was supposed to get there and be there for that night, but he had 5 different flights postponed and didn't get there, and he ended up missing that. So I know a lot of people missed the beginning, but how's it going now? Is crowd starting to filter in, getting big?
Today, this room, the Starlight room, is going to be very busy because all the autograph signers are in this room.
Oh, nice.
Yes, so this is a great room to be in on Saturday. And I was very busy yesterday after 5 o'clock. In like 5 to 8, we were very busy. And as you see, we have the technical wizard of TX Card Dude here. Your TX Card Dude.
Your Texas Card Dude. What's up, everybody? How are you on Hobby Hotline?
And I also see we had a big hobby week. I mean, this is not the time for me to talk about it. It's for y'all, but we had the Upper Deck announcement, and we had a couple other things.
Way to go, Upper Deck. Way to go.
Exactly. We actually were just talking about that, but yes. So
Whatever,
stoked that
Logan.
Upper Deck's still in the game.
And a major personnel change at PSA.
Yes.
Yeah. Big one.
So it's been a slow week this week in the hobby.
Right? Man, what a surprise.
What's going on, Val?
Happened.
We got Big Logan. I see you there, Logan. I see you. I see how you are.
Yeah.
Big week.
I've got my my Panini Xfinity jersey
There
on.
you go.
But I do want to give a little bit of a shout out. Our ComC crew is in for this show this weekend. So we've been taking submissions, and and my setup's a little bit different. If you want to show them, it's my quarter boxes and not my normal setup.
Okay.
Yes, that's fine.
It is different.
That's the purpose, to have cards sold. But that's what's going on my end.
Well, Uncle Rich, we were talking before the show. ComC, I'm starting to see the Ty Dillon redemptions from the National now.
Cool.
Yeah, so those are So if you were at the National and you registered and visited the ComC booth and registered for some free cards, you should check your account. It's going to be under Inventory Manager. That's where you'll see it.
Yep, I checked mine. No luck yet. Hopefully, I'll have some ComC.
Yeah, I did get one. So.
Well, I told the guys from ComC, Logan, to not give you anything whatsoever.
I love you too.
Big kisses, baby. Big kisses.
Yeah.
There you go.
And I have seen fellow Hobby Hotline host Dr. Beckett has been here yesterday and today.
Very nice.
Beckett's in the house. I got to go find him. I got to go aggravate him.
And so it's been a good show.
Sounds like it.
Yeah. Awesome.
Hey, Rich, how many tables are there?
Well, this room is the Starlight room, and this is a 100-table show by itself.
Wow.
And there are 400 tables in the main room, and then some other tables scattered about. And they've done something very smart at the Dallas Card Show. Their store, Kyle's store, is literally basically across the highway, maybe a half mile up from the show. So what they've done is one of the side rooms is now the room where they bring a lot of their store inventory to. So they're able, and plus it gives them a good base of operations. So I was talking to a couple of the higher ups in the staff today, and I said that was a great idea. You know, sometimes you don't think about it until you actually do it, but I think it really helps the show to have a home base for them to be out of, even just to handle any issues that come up instead of just walking around the floor.
Yeah, your room is bigger than our card show here in Memphis.
Yeah, we have 100 tables. This is a side show, by the way.
Yeah.
This is a side room.
Yeah.
But there's one thing I love. There are two things about this room that are much better than the main floor.
Yeah.
You were all on the main floor. Carpeting.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, three things. Carpeting. The tables are less expensive. And the bathrooms are much closer.
Yeah, there
And when
you
you
go.
get to a certain age, the men's room being close is a wonderful thing.
Carpeting being key.
Well, the carpeting for the noise is what is great because it's a lot easier to talk to y'all here in this room than it was out on the main floor because you had all that concrete and everything. We can at least, I can hear you relatively well.
And you're coming in clear. It absolutely helps, Brad. You're
So,
absolutely correct.
Yep. we just wanted to call in and aggravate y'all and say good morning and good morning to everybody and howdy from Dallas.
And just talk, and you just say, hey, we know there was some good hobby news, so stay tuned for the good content.
Well, we appreciate the call. Good luck at the show, guys. It's supposed to be a big one. I'm sure it'll be filling up. Enjoy.
Oh, yeah, we got some great signers today. I know among the signers here are Bob Lilly, Rick Barry, Vladimir Guerrero Sr., some other really cool names. Rocket Ismail at 6 o'clock tonight.
Ruben Sierra,
the Rockets there.
Yeah, Panther.
I'd bring my Panther jersey if I'd known that.
Yeah,
Rocket does quite a few of these shows. So anytime, if you really need something from Rocket, just let me know and I'll make sure we get you.
Okay, good deal. Need a jersey signed. Y'all have a good one.
All right, guys.
Enjoy. Good luck.
Enjoy.
Peace.
Uncle Rich and Texas Card Dude, two other fellow Hobby Hotline hosts calling in from the Dallas Card Show. That's pretty cool. I like the idea of having a show, on Halloween weekend. The only thing is, obviously being a parent, there's no way I'm going. I mean, you think Jude's going to let me be out of town during Halloween? You're nuts. So, I mean, but you can send somebody. But it looks like the Dallas Card Show's going good, so that's always good to see. That those shows are the Dallas shows becoming, which we kind of talked about here on the show a long time back for months at a time, really. About how we thought we'd start to see a lot of regional area shows pop up that were pretty big and drew people from a lot of different areas. You had Chantilly last weekend, which has developed a pretty big following. Dallas now with the big following. Shoot, here in North Carolina, where all of us are Logan close to the Hickory Show. The Hickory shows have become one that people from Atlanta and areas like that in Virginia are traveling to easily now. Down in Florida, they're getting a good one. So you're seeing a lot of centralized, card shows that are starting to get pretty big, and Dallas is one of them for sure.
Yeah, shows are back. We had a show in Memphis last week. It was about 60 tables. It wasn't quite the size of Uncle Rich's room, but there was a lot of steady traffic. I think that, now that summer's over with and everything, we're going to see a lot more attendance in these shows. I'm sure, Christmas is going to probably, thwart that a little bit.
Yeah.
But, yeah, our shows here are every other month, and they've grown from like a little 18 table show to like 60 now, and it's still growing, and he's got room to grow. So shows are back, and I'm glad to see it. I'm real happy.
Absolutely. No, Canton Card Collector not passing out prism packs, but we do every single year. Jude helped me put together. So far, we've got 150 bags where we put inserts and cards and stuff like that, a couple of low-end autos and stuff, and we put them out for kids to grab at a table along with candy since we're out doing trick-or-treating. So we are giving away a lot of cards. And as Mr. Newman, what's going on, John? What up, Newman? But as John does point out, guys, remember, Hobby Hotline, we have expanded to a Tuesday night show at 9 p.m. Eastern. And that does start this Tuesday. So make sure to tune in on Tuesday as well. You get us 2 times a week now, different hosts each time. So it will be a different 3 that will be on the show. But it does start this Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern. Same channel, same everything, just a lot more.
Hey, I like what Theodore says. Dress up as a PSA slab.
There you go.
That's great. So
I'd be like a 4 or 5 or so, 5 maybe.
So talking about hobby and Halloween, what would you guys dress up as if you went out tonight or tomorrow night?
Well, I have to. But
I know you have.
Yeah. So if I could dress up, I mean, if I had to and I could dress up as anyone, probably. I was going to say Patrick Waugh, but it'd be too hard to walk in the pads. So we'll go with, Jackie Moon. Jackie Moon, 100%.
I'd have to be Richard Petty.
Okay.
I would do Ted Lasso.
There you go. I like it. I would go with Jackie Moon. and the Flint Tropics. But there you go. What about you guys? There's a question for everyone that's watching the show. What would you dress up as for Halloween, hobby related or sports related, if you could? What's going on, Brody? Happy Halloween, brother.
Hey, Brody, you got to DM me your address.
There you go. So yeah, as Rich as what, Brad or Val, you were about to say.
No, I was going to say about back on the show. I think shows are going to be a lot more increasing with the, I don't know what's the right word for next year, with everything going on with eBay and everybody else clamping down and then changing some of the tax laws and stuff like that. I think shows are going to be massive.
I think. Well, no, I agree with you. I think you're going to see a lot of deals set up where people say we'll meet at the show, like where deals are done in principle, and they'll wait to do the transaction and wait to do everything until the show. I completely agree with you on that aspect.
I don't think a lot of people are talking about some of that, but and just getting back to more in person. I think with the pandemic and everything else, they're just gonna be massive. I think.
Audio Deluxe is what the comment of the day. That's great, brother. That's wonderful. You could go as a hobby ghost, aka Panini Redemption. That's lovely. I love it. I love it. That's a good one right there. That's a good one. Shoot, if you win as a trading card these days, you'd have to go off center. But it is what it is. Thanks, Cardamundi. I did see Topps Now had a massive screw up on a Lewis Hamilton, which is rough because they print those in their facility down in Florida, and their QC on those is incredible normally, but they had a tremendous mess up on recent Lewis Hamilton, which is
that? I missed that one.
I don't remember exactly which card it is, but they literally instead of like on the back of a card, like it having the entire top and bottom, it was only in the middle. Like the tops and bottoms were completely white. Like no coating, nothing. Like only half of everything printed. And it went out on a lot of the cards. So that was rough. But back onto the show, guys. We were talking about Topps and everything. And we talked about the Upper Deck and licensing. And licensing was really the key word this week, as Topps made two huge announcements, and I talked about it a little bit on Let Me Get That Potograph this week, but I wanted to get your guys' opinion on it and everything. Topps, first they put out an image that everyone had been waiting for. Topps is back in basketball, which is awesome. I still haven't seen exactly how, if it's a Players Association league, what exactly it is, if it's only certain players, I'm not sure, but they did tweet out and put out on socials a picture of a Dirk Nowitzki autograph card, and it's completed. It's not a mock-up, so it's real. These cards have been out, and so I contacted someone, my rep for Let Her Rip, and they did confirm that basketball was coming back, so hopefully we'll be able to open it on the show. But it's interesting that they bring back basketball, and then a day, maybe 2 days later, Panini snags the WWE license from them. I mean, licenses are moving like crazy right now, and it's quite interesting. What are your guys' thoughts on Topps getting back into basketball, which is something that I know I've wanted forever, and also them losing a major license, because it's getting to the point where you've got soccer, F1, the Nippon League, and then unlicensed stuff from a company like Topps. And that's just not, that's talk about a 180.
I think that's just kind of the times we're in right now. Everybody's shoring up their licensing like whack-a-mole. Just when you think you have it, you lose it. And then pops up somewhere else. So everybody's trying to get these long-term deals, so there's, I guess, some stability, and they understand what they're going to be producing in these next few years, and I guess the see what the landscape shakes out to be. But
yeah, the licensing landscape it's kind of become a little bit ruthless. Everybody grabbing licenses from everybody else. I mean, I assume a lot of this is motivated by money. I'm sure that Panini probably offered more for that license than Topps was paying.
Oh, big time. But see, this is the thing. Topps. Okay, if you're Topps, and this is what I mentioned on the show. If you are Topps, how can you not, after losing baseball, after losing everything else you're doing? I mean, Nippon League is a cool idea since you just opened an office in Japan. It works. You're trying to build your international following. I get it. It's not going to be huge. But how can you not fork up the money for wrestling? You've had wrestling forever. How can you not fork that money up when Panini's already got UFC too, which is exploding? UFC, I mean, you want to talk about something that's got massive potential. Holy cow. I mean, and now they've got wrestling as well, which is blowing up. And then Upper Deck's got AEW, which is going to be huge when it comes out as well, especially now that they've got CM Punk, Bryan Danielson, and people like that on the company, actual people that can wrestle. So it's going to be interesting to see how those work. And I know those aren't, massive licenses, which is why if I'm like, I want to know what Topps plan is, because are they going to just go all in on F1 and soccer and have these little areas, or is basketball, are they going to go hard into unlicensed basketball like Panini does baseball? Like, is that what we're in? Did they get that from the Players Association? Like, I really want to see what Topps' plan is, because we're getting to the point, guys, where, I mean, you're looking at a hobby really with not much Topps. Now, I mean, maybe it's good for them to focus on two things instead of everything else. But, like, right now, I see Topps as being a company that's F1 soccer, and then where I think they're going next after the Nippon League signing, I think you're going to start to see those Euro basketball leagues. I think you're going to start to see those licenses start to get snagged up pretty quickly. But what are your guys' thoughts on all that?
So the wrestling license contract, I didn't know it was in play, or is it something that, they wrestled with? But if it was in play, Topps should have done, I would imagine, anything they could have to try to secure that. But is it something like, where Fanatics came in and just wrestled it away? So I'd be curious. And if it's something they could wrestle away, Topps, I guess, just assumes that, those licenses were there and they didn't need to try to shore them up for long term.
Yeah. To answer a couple questions, as we do have quite a few people in the comments. Yes, absolutely. Boxing, Canton, Rex. Negotiations for soccer and F1 are incredibly fierce. That's why you're seeing the soccer leagues are only accepting 1-year deals. They're testing these companies to see who they want to go with, because there's a lot of money being thrown around. But there's a comment here, Val, that Val and Logan, that I kind of wanted to get y'all's opinion on, because I did not hear this, but this is an interesting idea, and maybe this is what Topps is doing and why there's no movement. But he thinks that Topps may partner with Fanatics instead of being acquired, which would be interesting, and which would kind of go along with what I think is going to happen with grading. Like I said, I think you're going to see CSG as their grading company, since they already own it. And I think, you're going to have some type of card company, and maybe Topps is partnering with Fanatics. Maybe that's their end game, because right now I'm seeing a company just totally falling down. They've got 2 great licenses, but they're in worldwide sports, but they're not mainstream enough to sustain a massive card market. So I'm really curious as to what they're going to do with cards going forward.
No, I can't see them going all in on Formula One and soccer.
Right.
They're just, I mean, they would have to flood the market, and then the card prices, the card values would I just don't think they would be there.
Right.
So, Topps is reeling right now. It just boggles my mind that they lost the WWE license.
Yes.
And I read that Topps renewed that license back in 2018 for 3 years. So it was, and I'm sure Panini's legal people, I'm sure they knew when these things were up and when it was time to go talk and negotiate with these things. But I mean, I think it's great that Panini's got it, but I feel bad for Topps because, as a kid, I harken back to the days when I was a kid in buying Topps baseball cards. I love Topps. I don't want to see anything happen to Topps. They're like a national institution to me.
Right.
So I just hope they can get back on their feet. And it's like what I saw that comment with what Nat Turner said. Maybe they are just going to partner. Maybe that's how they're going to, Fanatics is going to say, hey, we're going to let you use the MLB license, the basketball license, the football, the NFL license, and produce cards. And if that's the case, then, I think the world will be okay. But
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd have to agree with you there. I will say there is speaking on wrestling, there is a really cool, it's going up on Heritage. I don't know if it's up now, but basically the very first, I guess you would consider first wrestling set that would have like the Hulk Hogan rookie card, all that stuff. God, what is the year? I can't remember. It's one of those old, barely. It was mailed to order sets. I can't remember, but
the 82?
the name of it. Yes, the 82 Wrestling All-Star set. Yes, thank you, Val.
Sure.
The Jim Cornette collection, which is totally uncirculated, is actually a complete set that was all graded, is actually going up for sale. And being uncirculated, a lot of them got some really good grades. It's actually pretty cool. It is live. Yep. Do you listen to the podcast? I mean, I'm a big Jim Cornette listener, so I thought that was pretty awesome. He's been talking about collectibles a lot. But I think Panini can do some really cool stuff with wrestling. I think wrestling is kind of built for Panini's wheelhouse. You put something like Chronicles wrestling would be awesome. Just like I thought Chronicles NASCAR could be absolutely incredible, because Chronicles gives them that access. Cornette took a lot of those photos. That's how he has the uncirculated set as a gift. Jim Cornette did take tons of those photos, which if they were done a year later, he would have been in the wrestling business. He would have taken those photos, and then he would have been in the set as well, which would be pretty interesting. But that collection is probably one of the biggest wrestling card sets that there is, and it is up on Heritage Auctions this month. But yeah, Topps, man, losing. I mean, these products that they're putting out, fully loaded stuff like that, those were decent products. They've been doing a decent job at wrestling, but I like the idea of Panini with it. I can't believe that they let that license get out of the way.
Yeah, I read that Panini's licensing starts the first quarter of next year, and from what I read, the first product is going to be WWE Prism, which is going to release supposedly sometime in the beginning of April, and it's going to coincide with I think one of the WWE events that's going to be in Dallas.
Wow,
so that's going to be pretty cool. I mean, I think Panini and WWE, I think it's going to be spectacular what they do. They've got the technology to print all these really cool cards, so I'm expecting a lot from them. And if I know Panini, they're gonna capitalize on this thing in a big way.
Yeah. Oh no, they're absolutely gonna capitalize on it in a big way. They're gonna go huge. The first release is around WrestleMania. So it'll be interesting to see. It's going to be Prism. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting. And I could not believe that they let it get away, especially after they let UFC get away, because I mean, look what happened when Panini put UFC. I mean, Topps had UFC. You go back at some of the Topps UFC releases of the old school ones that they had, they were amazing. Undisputed, Knockouts, so many just legendary UFC sets that are gorgeous. And now you look, Panini gets the license, puts out a few products. Look at the market; it's exploded. Even for the old Topps cards too, it sent it through the roof. And wrestling collectibles, wrestling things like that are really on an uptick right now. The A&E show helped a lot. WWE's focusing a lot on collectibles. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see, but I'm just as interested to see how deep they go into basketball. Is this going to be a 1 or 2 off release? Are they going to release just a couple of sets? Or is this going to be something huge? Is this going to be where we have, like I said, Panini with baseball, where they have 20-something basketball products a year? Are we going to, because if we get stuff like that, I think it kind of loses its luster. But if we get a good 10 basketball products a year from Topps, I mean, the unlicensing, or I hate to say unlicensed because they're licensed in some way, but the airbrushed logos or whatever cards, I think that opinion is kind of going to change in the next 5 years, as a lot of licenses move and a lot of loyalists and a lot of people that have gotten comfortable collecting sets and doing things like that see their cards no longer exist. I think unlicensed stuff, so to speak, is going to be on the uptick quite a bit.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, you're going to see a lot of these cards. I don't necessarily have to have a logo on a card.
Basketball, especially, there's no hat or
enjoy
helmet.
it. For me, it's just the pure joy of collecting cards. I mean,
right.
Like I said, I don't think it's going to matter a lot to a lot of people, and I think it's kind of like what you said, Drew. As time goes on, people are going to be more accepting of that, just because they want to get cards.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And basketball is easier than almost any other sport, because they don't have a logo on their head. There's not a helmet. There's not a hat. There's not as much. I mean, you can have the back of the jersey. You can have their name and number. So, I mean, taking basketball shots is very, very easy to get around in terms of the licensing area. But 1 Million Cubs Project points out that he's been really disappointed with Topps WWE products. And, I have too. I'll be completely honest. I've spoken with, I've talked to him about it, and I've talked about it on Let It Rip when we opened some of the products, that I thought that they took it completely different and went the route of treating it like any other product, as opposed to how Panini is treating UFC, where it's making it feel like it's its own. Like it make it feel like they're not just plugging names into stuff that's already there. But Topps, I will agree with that. There has been a disconnect between WWE and Topps lately. And that's one of the main reasons I think the Panini license is exciting. When I see something like Chronicles, I can think of just so many cool things you could do with it. Spectra, Obsidian, Black, just so many cool Noir, just National Treasures. I mean, the National Treasures
I thought about that.
National Treasures Wrestling could be some amazing. You want to talk about legendary stuff? WWE's got it. They just had a whole show showing you that they really keep their important memorabilia. National Treasures Wrestling could be insane.
That'd be incredible.
Yeah, I want to see some folding chair memorabilia cards.
Yes. Oh, dude, give me barbed wire. Give it all to me, man. Give it all to me, dude. I'm here for it. I love it. Very, very interesting.
But Drew, you were talking about the basketball as a collector or whatever. You're looking for, players from your team or your favorite player. You don't necessarily need, like you were saying, the logo on that. So there's a lot of things you can do with that. I'm gonna say non-licensed, but not all the licenses together to produce cards. So it's gonna be interesting to see what's gonna happen.
Well, it's just going to get to the point where unless Fanatics, which like I said, I'm friends with Josh. I have complete faith in him, and I think he's going to do a great job. But unless people get on board and let's face it, they got to put out a good quality product some way, however they do it when it comes out, unless it's just the same stuff rebranded, which it ended. That's exactly what it could end up being. But if it's not, and it's brand new stuff, if they do it all on their own and Topps and Panini or whatever company it is left out on their own, then unlicensed stuff is something that I think people are going to get used to very quickly in the hobby. As if you're not a fan of Fanatics, where else are you going to go? So,
well,
I just see it, and I've seen it start to happen already with inserts in certain sets, with Prism Baseball this year, Optic Baseball this year. I bought some just for fun and was ridiculously surprised with the potential ROI on it.
Well, going back to what Bo said about being disappointed about Topps WWE, do you think that that's part of why Topps is having troubles, because people have become disillusioned, disappointed with the product? And not only that, the licensees, see that, because they want their brand to look good. They don't want their brand to look not as good. So there's some brand protection going on there too. So maybe WWE said, hey, we're not really liking this anyway, and Panini's offering us this, and we've seen what they do, so let's go with Panini. Do you think some of that is part of why Topps is having trouble?
Yes, and I don't want to lump everyone at Topps in with this statement, so I'm gonna because I deal with a lot of amazing people like Emily and a bunch of people that are just some of the best people in this industry. But the higher ups at Topps, the executives, the absolute tip-top decision makers are asleep. They are on autopilot. They saw that they could make a lot of money. They knew what they had to do. They put out the instructions on what to do, and then they sat back and thought that this was going to be perfectly fine. If you can lose the Major League Baseball license like they did, you're not paying attention to anything. And if they're not paying attention to baseball, what do you think their attention is in WWE? Let's be honest. If you're losing the baseball, if you can lose something that you've been a staple of for literally almost 100 years, if you can lose that overnight, like literally in the span of a couple of days, you are asleep. And if you're not paying attention to your biggest sport, what are you paying attention to one of your smaller ones? So they're asleep when it comes to the executives. And that's where a lot of, these came from. And I'm sure what you said is exactly right. WWE is making a major push in action figures, Funko Pops, all that type of stuff, which Funko Pops are starting to get really big. There's going to be Funko's getting into sports. There's going to be a whole Funko sports related line, Funko Gold, that's going to come out right here before Christmas. And it's all related to, collectibles and stuff like that. It's a new way to get sports into collectibles. And so there's a lot of stuff that's starting to be built up. You look at some of the action figures, they sell for a ton. I've got one right here. Bray Wyatt the Fiend one that Jude found at Walmart, and it ends up being like 4 times its value. There's so much value in this stuff, but yet they just fell asleep. And I think they saw it, and Panini saw the value, and they said, well, we'll take the license.
Yeah, like I said, it's a lot about brand protection.
Yeah.
I work in the IT industry, and Cisco, that's one of the big things with them is they're always looking to protect the brand. And I see that being the same way in all the major league sports, where they all want to have a good image. They want to deliver the best content, the best product to their fans. And I guess that I would have to say that WWE probably thought, hey, we think Panini can do better, so we're going to go with them. That's at least one of the theories I have on what happened.
Bow?
No, I was just thinking, like you were saying, everybody's shoring their stuff up. The collectible market is insane. You see these record prices for these cards. The same old doing business has been kind of turned upside down, and companies know that either it's the same old Drew, like with Tops. I've heard the same thing where the people at the tippy top, the private equity, they were cashing money out of it, and just thinking that it was set it on autopilot. Yeah. And just with the Funkos, NFTs, everything in the last year and a half has been just incredible. We've all said it before, longtime collectors of what it used to be like to what it is now. So everybody is looking at everything. Nothing's off the table. And, there's some consolidation going on, moving licenses, like I said. And am I getting the best value for my brand, my sports? It's not just, okay, years ago, was it Psy, would go around with a catalog and you get you could pick something out of the catalog for your likeness for, on the Topps card, right? So a lot of things have changed in the last, 50, 70 years, right? So It's just a new time, and all these different sports, right? It was just baseball, football, and then basketball, hockey, and the rest of them. So they're all worth a lot of money. These leagues know it. They're getting into sports betting. We just saw with NASCAR with new betting. So it's everywhere in every league. They're trying to maximize their brand.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I completely agree. Yeah, they like Prism's etching. Absolutely.
So does anybody know if McFarlane still makes action figures?
Do
not to put everybody in the spot. I remember, it used to be Kenner starting lineups, and then McFarlane, they came in and kind of blew them out of the water.
They do. They still do. They still
Yeah,
make quite a bit.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the McFarlane NASCAR figures back in the day. I wish they still made those.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Those were pretty cool. But quite the interesting week, definitely, with licenses. And guys, please remember to call in. We got a little bit of time left on today's show. Please call in and join the show.
So I know I talked a little bit when Uncle Rich and them were on about ComC, but one thing I've noticed is, some of the Braves players that I picked up, they're starting to sell.
Yeah, I got a couple packages going out today, and they're all Braves. There's 5 of them, and they're all Braves. But yeah, World Series, man, they're looking good. Feel bad for Charlie Morton. That was a scary one. We'll see how that comes back to bite him towards the end. But yeah, Brave stuff starting to go. I think it's very, very dangerous to call this one anything near from over. I think this is going to be a competitive series, but Braves are looking good. Braves are looking good right now.
You have a Braves bump. We're seeing in NASCAR, we're seeing a Larson bump. Kyle Larson has just been on fire with all the wins, and he's already locked in for the final championship 4 in Phoenix next week. Today and tomorrow we have cutoff races where the final championship 4 will be selected for Phoenix. So we're seeing, bumps for some of these guys. So I'm, like I said, about the ComC, seeing that bump on some of my Braves players.
Yeah, and it's about time we saw some type of postseason bump on something. There hasn't been a lot of real big World Series or postseason bumps, at least in the last couple last couple seasons on any sport, in the last couple of sports period. The NBA Finals, you didn't really see bumps in anybody because it was a lot of teams that people didn't expect to be there. Didn't have huge ones. But the Braves have got some players that I think, Freeman's going to be leaving there probably in a couple of years. And when he does, I think that team turns over to Acuna and Austin Riley. So, I invested heavily in Austin Riley this year. That was the one that paid off in baseball. Well, that and Bobby Witt Jr., those were the two that really paid off. Eloy and Lou Bob, not so much yet. But here's a good question that we can end the show on talking about a little bit today. Audio Deluxe 7 asks, we've got two of the basically the NASCAR guys in the hobby. That you will not find more NASCAR card knowledge than the two people above me, Logan and Val. But do you guys follow F1 as well? And what are your and I'm going to add on to this question. What are your thoughts on the F1 market compared to NASCAR?
I don't know, Logan, you want this one or not? But we do follow F1, and we've actually been talking about it on the NASCAR radio podcast. We review the three different series for NASCAR trucks, Xfinity and Cup, and then also F1 and IndyCar. IndyCar is actually finished up for the season, but we do follow the F1, and we talk about the winner, highest finishing rookies, and the rookie card. So yeah, we've been talking about F1. We've been following. There's a tight race right now between Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton for the championship. There's still a few races left, and Max Verstappen is in the lead, but not by much. I think it's about 12 points last time I checked. Our shows drop on Friday. And then when the tops cards or the F1 cards, I'm amazed at the price difference between F1 and NASCAR. Yes. F1 is very high. I'm kind of leery about some of the prices. I'm just by having seen the 80s and 90s and stuff like that, but I know there's a massive demand for it. The races are okay. I like the NASCAR races a little better. There's a lot more action. You can't rub and stuff in F1. So, and Logan, what's your take?
Well, I'm like you. The prices for F1 just are astounding, especially compared to NASCAR right now. And Lewis Hamilton, what people, I don't know if a lot of people realize that these tops cards of Lewis Hamilton are not his rookie cards. Right. He's got cards back. I'm trying to remember. There's a top trumps card.
Yeah, there's a few top trumps
cards from back over 10 years ago, and it just I don't know. I guess there's just a big frenzy right now over F1. I mean, we had the U.S. Grand Prix last week. It was in Austin, Texas, and that race over the 3 days had an attendance of they said 400,000 people spread over 3 days in Austin, Texas. That's incredible. I was listening to Sirius NASCAR radio the other day, and somebody was trying to say that they were trying to make the comparison between the attendance at the Formula One race versus NASCAR races and why NASCAR races don't have as much attendance. Well, I don't think we had a Formula One race in the U.S. last year because of the pandemic, and it's a one-off event, so you really can't compare those two things. But that being said, I think F1 is it's a worldwide sport. NASCAR is really more just geared in the United States, and I used gear. I don't know if that's a pun or not, but like what Val did a while ago with Tops Wrestling with WWE licenses. I don't realize you said that. Yeah. But anyway, I'm proud to see that for F1. I used to follow it, quite heavily back in the 90s, back when you had Michael Schumacher and those guys. I haven't followed it as much, but I do follow it. I thought that the F1 race in Austin was great. one of the funny things, one of my funny takeaways from that is when Max Verstappen took the lead from
Hamilton.
yeah, Lewis Hamilton. And it was kind of like being in Talladega when Dale Earnhardt takes the lead from Jeff Gordon. There was a huge roar of the crowd.
Yeah.
And I thought that was absolutely amazing. So there's a lot of fans on both sides right now. And I'm glad to see it. I just don't want to see Topps flood the market with it. I want them to just, do it gradually. Don't overproduce it just because it's been really popular. Because if they do that, we all know what's going to happen. They're going to end up killing it. And if that's one of the licenses that they're going to go with as one of their staples, they don't need to try to they don't need to kill it. They need to nurture that thing, do it the right way, don't overproduce, make quality products, and that will be okay.
Yeah, because the goal really has changed. Before, it was just put out cards that people thought were cool and that they would buy, but now it's put out cards that have value on the secondary market. I mean, companies have got to be aware of that, and they've got to be taking that into massive consideration. I mean, I know it's always been in the back of their minds somewhat, but we're in an era like never before. I mean, not 20 years ago, not in 2000, they were not thinking the same way they are now in terms of the secondary market and how their cards are viewed. And so if companies aren't taking that into consideration, then they're not going to succeed.
So
with that.
All right, one thing real quick for Audio Deluxe and folks who follow F1, we mentioned this on the show, but Topps UK site has F1 stickers and F1 attacks. And you can order from the Topps UK site. You're going to pay more for shipping, naturally, and taxes, but you can get that product. So I just want to throw it out there for any F1 collectors.
And guys, before we wrap up today's show, remember this Tuesday starts Hobby Hotline on Tuesdays. So at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you get another hour with 3 of the awesome Hobby Hotline hosts as our roster has expanded now. I believe we are a full NBA team and then some. So the Nationals got to build a better stage because it's going to be big. But we've got 3 great guests on Tuesday for the debut episode. And then, of course, we will always be back every Saturday. So the Tuesday shows do start this week at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So make sure to come and check it out as well.
Yes, definitely. Tuesday, I was looking at 1977 Cloth says something about the Topps UK is hard to deal with. They had the 2 shipments that didn't pass customs. I don't know if that's been recent or not, but I did order from them. I guess it was a few years ago. I guess it's been a few months. I didn't have any trouble, so I'm not sure. I guess mileage may vary.
Nice.
But so Tuesday, 9:00.
Yes.
New guest. I don't know if you have that list available right for who's going to be.
Let's see.
Or give them surprise.
Yes, I do. This Tuesday, we have got Mr. John Newman, Sam Shuford, and making his debut, Breakout Cards, Ryan Nolan will be on the Tuesday show. So make sure to check out episode 94 as we near episode 1. We'll be hitting episode 100 in November. That's pretty crazy. But all right.
Yeah, I know. 100, yeah. 1977 Claus says maybe it's a dollar threshold. $2,000. Yeah, mine was nowhere near $2,000. I'm a NASCAR guy, so I'm cheap. So we're used to $10 rookie cards or $5 rookie cards. So
all right.
Yep. So
there you go. Well, make sure to check out the show Tuesday, guys. Val, Logan, it's always a pleasure, fellas.
Yep.
Yes, sir. Enjoyed it. And thanks everybody for watching. And like I said, Tuesday, 9 p.m. And hope everybody has a great, safe Halloween. And I guess we will, I'll see you whenever, and same from the guys, but hopefully we'll see you Tuesday.
Yes. Peace.